Daf Mem Beis Amud Beis, 3 lines from the top. We learned previously a machlokes Rav and Shmuel if the shchita of the para aduma is kosher with the zar or not. The shchita of Rav was that the shchita bezar is possible, and Shmuel's shchita that is kosher. Rav said that it's possible because it says a lozar, so therefore it has to be like a lozar who is a skan kohen gadol, and it says chukah. So therefore, bizarre, someone who's not a kohen gadol or a skan kohen gadol, it's possible. The Mora now brings down other man the omrim on this matter. Itmar shchita para bizarre, the shchita of the para duma bizarre. Rabbi Yomi Masechet says it's kosher. Yeschanaf kamar psula. He says possible. Ula Masechet v'amila psula. There's a difference in opinions. What Ula said, some say that he said it's kosher, some say that it's possible. Maseh Rabbi Yeshua bar Abba Yeshua Rav. Rav Yeshua bar Abba had brought a raya that it's to Rav Shita that it's possible because it says in the Baraisa Ein li ela hazos meimeh she'ein kasher be'isha keveish. I only know that the sprinkling of the water that it's possible by an isha. It's not kosher by isha. It's only kosher by an isha. And it's only kosher done in the daytime. Minayin l'rabas shchitosa v'kabolas doma v'azos doma usrei falsa v'hashlochas eitz erev v'eza v'shnitalas. How do I know to include the other aspects of the paraduma, the shchita, the kabolas dam, the sprinkling of the dam, the burning, and the throwing into the fire of the eitz erev v'eza v'shnitalas? How do I know to include that as well? Talmud Leimer Torah. It says Torah. So it says Torah means it's one unified law. It says Zos Chukas Torah, that applies to all the cases. So therefore, over here in these cases as well, the same din would apply that it's possible with an Isha and it's possible at Lila. So it says Torah. So Yochal Shani Marba Fasifas Afrava Milu Mayim V'Kiddush. You might think I would include these as well: the gathering of the ashes and the filling of the water and the mixing it with the water with the ashes. Talmud Leimer Zos. It says this. Zos Chukas Torah means it's specific. It's a limitation. It's a miyut here and not elsewhere. So Ma'or writes l'Rabbas Aselo or writes Aselo. So why would you include these? So the first group that we had, we would include it, and we included and say that the shchita, etc., then in those cases, in that, the Kabbalah's Dam, Hazah, etc., that whole list, we say it's possible by Anisha. And the second group, that we say that it's kosher by Anisha, the Asifa, Se'afra, Milu, Mayim, V'Kiddush, we say it's kosher. So why do I include one group and I exclude another group? Achar Shariba Kosu Miyat, the Torah includes and excludes, so therefore it's up to us to determine with the Svarim, for the Chachamim, to determine what's included and what's not. Amra Tarayan Ulamedim Kulan Me'azos Me'ma. Well, we'll learn now the prototype is Hazos Me'ma, the sprinkling of the waters. Ma Hazos Me'ma Enik Be'isha Keveish, just like the Hazot is not kosher with an Isha. It has to be with an Ish. Because the pasuk says that v'lokach eza v'tava b'mayim ish tahar, it says an ish, so it has to be davka with a man. So therefore, we say that just like that, we see by Hazor enik shem b'shikavish v'enan kshen ksherim elabayim, and it's only kosher the day, not in the nighttime, because the pasuk says v'hiza torah latami b'yayim hashlish v'yayim hashvi. It has to be in the daytime. So therefore, we learn out similarly. On the avi shchitosa, I will learn out from there to shchita v'kavalas dama v'azos dama was very false v'hashlochas eitz eretz v'eza ushnisay las. I will learn out to all these other applications as well. Hoil v'eng sherim be'isha keveish, since it's not kosher with an isha, and therefore I'm saying sherim el b'yayim. It has to be davka b'yayim. It has to be davka for and the daytime. Now, all these other procedures, it either says Allah or a kain, so it can't be with an isha, therefore it has to be bayayim. Or might say ani asifa sefro milu mayim v'kiddush, and I'll exclude those applications because hoyluk sherem be'isha k'veish, because since there's no mention over there dafka of a man, so it's kosher with an isha k'veish sherem nami b'yam v'layla. It's also kosher b'yam over layla. So now over here we're asking a kasha on Shmuel, and it's a raya to Rav. So what is the case over here? Why is this a riot to Rav and a kasha on Shmuel? What does this have to do with the shlit of azar? Their machlek is the shlit of azar. What's the kasha over here to Shmuel? If you're going to say that since it's possible with an isha, and talking about shlit, it's possible with an isha, therefore it's also with a zar. Well, you can ask a kasha from the azar. It's possible with an isha because it says ish, but it is kasha with a zar. You see that they're not connected in that way. So what's your kasha? This is the kasha. Isha my time. What's the reason that we say we exclude an isha? Why do we say that an isha is excluded from the shlit of the paraduma? Because Allah zar v'lo isha. It says Allah zar. It says the shlit is done by Allah zar. So therefore it has to be davka anish. So zar nami Allah zar v'lo zar. So therefore, by the same reasoning, you'd say Allah zar. It has to be davka Allah zar v'lo zar. It has to be a sgan kohen gadol or kohen gadol. So you see therefore clearly that it cannot be done by a zar. Now the Gemara is going to analyze the parasha of the paraduma. Omar Ula said, Omar Ula, Kula Parasha Kula, all the Parasha Paraduma, Masha Maitzi Miyad Mashma, Mashma Memela. It's Masha Maitzi Miyad Mashma. It implies that the one verse, one pasuk is the opposite of the pasuk that precedes it. O Mashma Memela. And sometimes it's Mashma that it's a continuation of the previous pasuk. It doesn't reverse it. It's not the opposite of it. It's a continuation. It's in the same vein. So now the Gemara is going to analyze the psukim paraduma. It says in the pasuk in the Satan Moisel Elazar HaKohen, it says that you should give it to Elazar HaKohen. That it says that it should be given to Elazar HaKohen. So Oisel Elazar v'lo l'doros l'Elazar. So therefore it means that this Oisa, this paraduma is for Elazar, has to be done by Elazar, but in future generations it does not have to be done by Elazar. It does not have to have a davka skan kohen gadol or kohen gadol. The pasuk says, "Unasatem oiso el Elazar kohen v'hoitzi oiso mechutz l'machna v'shach oiso lefanav." So it's davka oiso Elazar v'lo l'doros l'Elazar. So ikadamar, some there's a machlokes ikadamar l'doros b'kohen gadol. Some say, what does that mean? Some say that means that l'doros it has to be done davka with a kohen gadol, not with a Elazar, not with a skan. V'ikadamar l'doros b'kohen hedjed. And some say no, that for l'doros it is even kosher with a kohen hedjed. It doesn't have to be a skan. It could even be a kohen hedjed. Bishlam the mandamar l'doros b'kohen hedjed shapir, the one that says that it's a kohen hedjed, it's shapir, we understand it. So because since the Torah doesn't say kohen gadol, it doesn't say it for the future, it doesn't say kohen gadol is gone, so therefore all kohanim would be kosher. They'll all be kosher, just do it. But el mandamar l'doros b'kohen gadol minali. But where would you get to say that in the future generations it has to be a kohen gadol? You're telling me that paraduma, the parasha is davka Elazar, davka this is Elazar. So therefore we're saying it's an exclusion in future generations. You don't need Elazar. But there's no mention of a kohen gadol. Why should I say that in the future generations to be a kohen gadol? Gemara answers, Gemara chuka mi Yom Kippurim. We learn out Gzera Shava from Yom Kippur. It's chuka mi Yom Kippur. Just like by Yom Kippur it has to be davka the kohen gadol. So therefore we learn out Gzera Shava that zayis chuka satayra, that it has to be davka the kohen gadol, the chuka. It says by Yom Kippur v'aysalam lechuka soilam, and therefore the chuka teaches you this din. Then the pasuk continues, says v'hoitzi oisa. It says that you take this, you take this one outside the camp. V'hoitzi oisa mechutz l'machne. So we learn out shelo yotzi acher asima, that it means it's an exclusion. This one should be taken out. This should be taken out. That this para should be taken out, but not another para. You can't take with the paraduma. You can't take another para with it. You have to take the paraduma on its own. Kidasan layhaiza para writes says if the paraduma did not want to leave, did not want to go out. So ein moitzin imo shchera shelo yomer shchera shchachta. You can't bring out a black one, so you might think to take another one to keep it company, and therefore it would be more likely to want to go out if it has the company of another cow, so therefore it would go out as well. So you might think that let us take out a black one with it to encourage it to go out. No, you have to take only this. You can't take out a black one with it. So why is that? So that people shouldn't say that they're shechting the black one, not the red one. And you can't even take a red one with it, that people shouldn't say that they're shechting two. That they're shechting two for it. No, it's only one that's being shechted. One has to be done, only one at a time. Rabbi Eimer, Hashem said, he said, that's not the reason. It's not a gzera. It's not because what people might say, because it's a gzera kosov, rather than it says, oisa levadom. That's why you take it out. The Tosfos Shlomo says, and why don't you, if you have a hard time bringing it out, now why not simply just tie a rope around it and pull it out with the rope? Why would there be a need in any event to take out another animal and to encourage it to come out? The Mishnah Chaya says because that would be considered doing an avodah with the paraduma, because since it's not for the benefit of the paraduma, it's considered to be an avodah. Therefore, you can't take it out or pull it out with a rope. You can't take another animal with it, either because of the gzera, or Rebbe says because of the gzera cause of oisa. Why does the Tanakama say that it's because of the gzera? It says oisa, which means it and only it alone. Our answer is mine. Tanakama. Who's a Tanakama? Rabbi Shimoni, the Darsh time of the Quran. It's not a machlokes in that sense. The Tanakama also agrees that it's from the Gzeres HaKosav. But it's a time of the Quran. The Tanakama, the Tana is Rabbi Shimon. He darshans time of the Quran, meaning it's not that the Chachamim made up this Gzera. The pasuk says, "I saw it alone." Why did the Torah say it alone? Shaloi Yimrum. My Beinayo, what's the nafkamina between the two pshatim? Ika Beinayo, the nafkamina is that the apik hamor ba'ada. If you take out a donkey with it, to take out a donkey, it's another animal to encourage it to come out. If it's exeris akosa without a reason, then we say that it would be awesome. But if you say that, like Rav Shimon, the Tanakama, that it's because the time of the cross that people will say you're shechting in the black paradum, you're shechting two paradum. Well, a donkey clearly is not a para, and it's not a paraduma, and people would not say that, so there should be no concern, so it should be mutter. So that's a nafkamina between them. The Gemara will continue on in darshaning through this coming Amud, the psukim of the paraduma.